see our logo says we reignite the passion of learning with our online curriculum. We will have this presentation available for you. I'm going to go quite quickly through it, so don't be too worried if you miss something out along the way. We can always send it to ACSI, and you can have you can look at it at your leisure. So not a problem there. And then also thank you to Hendrik and to Quibus as well for walking the road with us in terms of getting to today. So this is what's going to happen in the next 20 minutes. I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of what the whole program is, our history, and then the nuts and bolts of our program is the digital curriculum and assessment. Then we'll talk a little bit about courses and course customization, and then qualifications, and then implementation. So that's the plan coming up in the next few minutes. So this is who we are. We have an online digitized Christian curriculum with 5 core subjects, exclusively built for Christian schools and homeschools. And as you can see on the PowerPoint, the 5 subjects are Bible, language, arts, math, science, history, and geography, and all written from a Christian or biblical worldview. Our methodology is personalized, and we've had some very inventive and creative people in the ACSI fold who took our methodology, our asynchronous model, where students work on their own, and kind of arranged it so that it could function in a blended learning model with project learning and other things. And we can talk through that at length. We have over 150 student courses, which includes lessons, projects, assessments, experiments, virtual labs. It's just not a bunch of PDFs on a website. It's very, very interactive, as you'll see just now. And then lots of courses in the career and technical area, and a fully integrated learner management system that records everything. The time students spend on the task, the scores, the student reports, the quiz scores, the test scores, everything. And then last but not least, our parent organization in the States has a number of professional development courses, which is actually approved by ACSI internationally. So if you look at the screen, if you listen to nothing else, that's who we are. An online digitized curriculum that's just working phenomenally in schools all around the country. We've got about 26 schools in South Africa at the moment on our program. All right, so who we are. SwitchedOn Education is accredited by Cognia as an international digital curriculum provider. We are not an association of schools. We do not want to be an association of schools. We want to develop a long-standing partnership with ACSI because that's what you do. And with my history with ACSI, you guys are doing an incredible job in supporting the schools, especially in South Africa. Our online platform was developed in the USA in 2008, and Graham and Cheryl Hill launched our first school called Bournemouth Christian School in the UK in 2012. They implemented the program, and it's just been upwards and onwards from there. And at the moment, we're distributing to the UK, Namibia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and we're now expanding into New Zealand, Australia, Tanzania, and anybody else who shouts from anywhere. We're here to assist them. It's just a couple of Zoom meetings, some training, and off they go. We've got 22 schools in total and five home education academies, and we are growing from week to week. Now, what's this accreditation all about? We are accredited by Cognia, which is the parent organization of the North Central Association Commission on Accreditation and School Improvement, the Northwest Accreditation Commission in the States, and SACS, which is the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. And we had to go for international accreditation because we are an international body. And we were very blessed very recently when we had our accreditation report for the next 5 years. All right, so let me go on to some of the key features of our program. Number one is the biblical foundation. All of our courses are written with a Christ-centered biblical worldview. So we do not have anything that's going to creep in, that's going to bring in some secular humanism or the South African CSE curriculum, or anything of that sort. And all of our writers are Christians. I'm going to go quite quickly through this. Secondly, our courses are all intuitive. You can build your own courses, you can write lessons, you can take out lessons, you can put in projects. You're not stuck. Let's take grade 5 mathematics. If we find that we've got 10 units and 1 unit does not work the way it should, we can extract that unit and we can get writers to put in new units. And of course, for the South African market as well, we're busy at the moment putting in lots of courses. You'll see a little icon there that says certified autism resources as well. Because our system is student-centered and students work on their own pace, it's absolutely well suited for students who have learning difficulties. Now, students love this, and most of us know we live in the digital age. They learn with digital media, videos and games, and so our program has over 50,000 multimedia elements, which could be interactive exercises, games, slideshows, video, direct instruction videos from master teachers, and the video transcript as well, historical timelines, vocab and reference functioning for pronunciation and definitions, teacher and student notes, messaging tool, and of course, a highlight of our program are the virtual labs, so they can actually see the experiment. So the students love the interaction, being able to use video material, audio material to enhance their learning. It's state of the art. We get regular updates of the program, new courses that come online. We ourselves are doing new courses as well, so you're not sitting with something that's dated. And then this is just an incredible tool, which is the text-to-speech tool. A student can highlight a piece of text or a whole paragraph and click a button, and 4 or 5 voices they can choose from and actually listen to the text, especially for those kids who are auditory learners. And then they can also translate the text into 25 global languages. We do have a demo lesson on our website, and I'll show you the web address later on, so you can actually see the demo where you'll find all the different languages. Unfortunately, Afrikaans and the South African languages are not on as yet. It's a very, very quick and easy to use interface for the students. I've implemented at a school last year in Durban and I implemented with the grades 3s, 4s, and 5s, and none of us should be surprised to learn that the students learn faster than the teachers. They are unafraid to click, they're unafraid to explore, and within half an hour, the students are on lessons opening up, going through videos, going through assessments, and having lots of fun in their learning. Okay, well, for the teachers, you'll be very impressed. Automatic grading of assessments. The assessments come after a lesson. After each lesson, there are a series of questions. After a couple of lessons, there are quizzes. And after a couple of quizzes, there's a final test. And 85% of those assessments are automatically marked by the system. You get immediate feedback. The teachers have to obviously just mark 15% of essay kind of questions and other subjective questions. There's a built-in global calendar for your organization. You can put in dates, important dates for your school and other aspects that you want to put in. And then, of course, I think very, very importantly, most of us know, especially in the age we're living, of school results getting lost, test results missing. And I work a lot with high school students, and we try to recover a lot of their work that we can't find. Well, the system records everything. It records time on task, it records the quiz scores, the test scores, and at a touch of a button, you can produce a report. So all of the data management and reporting is there. Assignment screens for the students and the staff to say where they are. That helps them to create a personalized learning plan. I should also stop here and say that this is the most comprehensive continuous assessment program I've seen. Every time the student attempts an exercise, the score is recorded, whether it's after a lesson, whether it's a quiz, whether it's an experiment, or an essay, or a test, and all the scores are weighted so that a comprehensive score can be given at the end of the term or the quarter that shows all the assessments taken into account. Obviously, you can see lots of teacher time saving aspects in the program so that teachers can spend their time inspiring achievement and in some places even doing some classroom teaching. All right, so those were just the highlights of the program. Let me go to the curriculum. As I said, over 150 courses online from grades 3 to 12, 5 main course groupings. Bible's a course grouping from grades 3 to 12, math, English language arts, science and history and geography. And then we have 12 elective groupings, which include business, fine art, world languages, workplace skills, and these courses just add on as students find interest. And then there are 14 career and technical education groupings, which include IT, business management and admin, career exploration, STEM, health sciences, AV, and communication. Now, I'm going to take a breath here so that you can actually see the courses themselves. Here's your Bible, grade 3 right up to grade 12, English language arts 3 to 12, history and geography grades 3 to 12. You'll find American history here, but that we've obviously replaced for our country, and we'll talk about that in a second. Math grades 3 to 12, science grades 3 right up to 12, and then everything in green are the electives, which are coming up on the next page as well. More electives that students can choose for the different levels on the side. And then the career and technical education courses. You'll find on the right-hand side a whole list of IT courses, a whole list of business management and administration, and then career explorations. And again, for the high school, once you have a license from us, students can actually, or staff can determine which courses they'd like to add to their load of work. All right, so let's talk about the curriculum. So we have built into the curriculum a course creation module, and we have already created the South African life skills curriculum for grade 3 because we found the American curriculum is so Americanized, it doesn't really suit us. We've got people working on history and geography. We have people working on Afrikaans at the moment, and then we've got a whole team of people that Hendrik and Kobus will talk about in a second, I think, about the Cambridge development. And all of our course developers are Christians and experts from schools who create lessons or units of work. We're actually creating a group of people, a professional group of people who can contribute to the platform and writing lessons. Our majors at the moment are English, mathematics, science, media studies, just became brand new recently, social studies, history, Bible, information technology, business studies, and in January next year, we'll include a few extra majors. So I want to take a moment here and just say that we have a wonderful platform to work on where teachers from all around the world, if not South Africa and Africa, can actually write lessons depending on their special areas and populate it, and then we all benefit from that. And if you find that there is somebody else who's done a lesson on life orientation and you'd like to edit it, you can copy that lesson and you can edit it for your school. So that's all available on the platform. All right, we've gone to qualifications. At the moment, we've got 4 streams. We've got the accredited USA high school diploma. Then we have the GED, that's a possibility. The Cambridge International AS, that's going to happen next year. And hot off the press, that's just happened 2 days ago or a day ago, a dual enrollment towards an associate degree from Liberty University in the USA. So we've just struck a partnership with them. I'll go quickly through these. So the USA High School Diploma, we have 2 diplomas, a general and advanced diploma. Advanced, obviously, for students going to universities. There's great flexibility in high school course selection. Students must complete at least 24 credits over 4 grades, grades 9 to 12. And a credit is really a year's work in a subject. So that computes to about 5 to 6 credits per level and at least 5 major courses. The system will record all the scores, all the assessment from grades 9 to 12 and report it with the final weighting. So you get a very rounded, holistic view of the worth of the student. We have submitted our USA high school diploma to SACWA, and we've received the certificate of evaluation that says our high school diploma is comparable to national senior certificate at NQF level 4. Now, as you can see, an application has to be made for every student, but not all institutions actually want that. So it's just for students who go to institutions and want that, we make that application, or the parents do. We've got that signed and sealed. We've had 3 students at the end of last year who were admitted to South African universities this year, and the process has been to apply to the university. The university applies for a certificate of foreign conditional exemption to USAF. and then students may continue progressing through the degree studies. And again, I think Hendrik will probably say a word or two about that. And then most of you should know that forever and a day we've been all in discussions with Umalusi on actually looking at foreign qualifications and foreign providers, and we haven't had any clear indication from them as to what the future is. So that's where we are with the American High School Diploma for South Africa. Obviously, it is accepted all over America. Secondly, we have the Cambridge International Examinations. We have developments underway to align the curriculum to IGCSEs as well as Cambridge AS levels. And we found a large part of the SwitchedOn curriculum does cover Cambridge content, but during 2021 and 2022, additional content will be created to meet the Cambridge levels and populated on the platform. And of course, students who don't want to do Cambridge, they can also obviously use those courses because it will be available for everybody. Then finally, we've got the dual enrollment through Liberty University. How does this work? Well, in the States, they do allow students to do university or college level courses in the last 2 grades of high school. So a student can replace high school courses with university courses and actually achieve an associate degree. It's really an associate's degree in the arts. We're busy pioneering this at the moment. Once they complete this at the end of grade 12, the student will get the American High School Diploma as well as the associate degree. And then it can actually articulate to a full 4-year degree through Liberty University online or resident or any other university, and possibly articulate to South Africa as well. So this is a brand new development, and we've got lots of information in this area. Of course, it's a mindset change for most people because very few of us have thought about students in grades 11 and 12 doing university courses, saving 2 years of their lives, saving 2 years of money, and then having 2 years of credit when they actually start university. So that's part of the press. All right, I'm going to talk about implementation. This is my last slide. We are available to do individual presentations to schools as well as the online training and quotes. So that's the next step. We do presentations to schools and we do all the training online. We will then provide a 1-month demo license for trial. Once you've registered with us, no obligations, 1 month, try it out, put a student or 2 onto the system, assign a couple of courses, see how they work, and then and thereafter you can sign up with us if you want to. We can give you a quote as to what it costs, and then we just basically open licenses. Our licenses are valid for the whole year. And once a license is open for a student, they can do 5 courses, 10 courses, 20 courses. A student can complete math grade 8 in September and simply continue on to math grade 9 or 10 or 11 or grade 12, depending how fast they're working. So our contact details are on the slides as well. And as I said, I will make the presentation available so that if this was too fast, obviously you can look through it again. So Sean, thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity, and I'll hand over back to you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. If you can just stop sharing, that will then make us a bit bigger. Good. I'm going to ask then, Hendrik, if you can just share your thoughts, why you went this route, what has been the positive things, and then the struggles, or whatever you'd like to share from Lofdal's side. But so I'm going to hand over to you, Hendrik. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Yeah, thank you, Daniel. It was quite a good presentation in the sense of giving you an overview. Yeah, so Lofdal's journey started in August of 2018. We were in search of a Cambridge curriculum. As a school, we were following a curriculum which accreditation is ending, was the ACSI curriculum. And we were looking for a curriculum that will suit us. Obviously, we decided on Cambridge. We registered via the British Council. And in that process, we kind of remembered a presentation that was done by Graham Hill, Daniel, and there was certain comparisons mentioned in that presentation regarding SwitchedOn and Cambridge. And we started investigating it. We approached Daniel for a trial seat. And in the meantime, because we had access to all the Cambridge portals, we started comparing the Cambridge IG curriculum to the SwitchedOn curriculum, and obviously in that process, obviously saw, and I think Daniel did mention it in his presentation, that we find about 80% direct links between the two, and then about 20 indirect percentage indirect link between the two. So obviously that excited us, and basically we started putting together what we're going to be doing the next year, starting with it in 2019. In the trial seat, we tested it firstly, obviously, with a good student, which kind of allows you to give you an idea of how it's working. And then straight after that, we gave it actually to a girl with learning disabilities and actually physical disabilities, to see how she coped with the platform, and looking at time saved, looking at how both of these students excelled. We kind of decided, and I think that decision was taken in October of 2018. We signed up and we started with basically the high school only in 2019, purely because obviously that's where our greatest need was directly. Yeah, then in the meantime, obviously we incorporated it into our primary school as well. But yeah, so looking back at the comparison between SOE and Cambridge, I think it's what we must understand, that when you write Cambridge exams, they facilitate examinations. Cambridge curriculum is a choice for the school. So obviously you can go and look for your curriculum. And I think that's what we did. And one of our criteria in searching was the fact that we were looking for a Christian curriculum. And I think that was one of the things that ticked our criteria. Yeah, so we started last year and we had graduates. We had 4 of our students that were working towards graduation. 3 of them finished in 2019. 1 finished this year. 2 of the students applied to university, 1 to PUC and 1 to Pearson's. The one in PUC got accepted for a health science degree in biokinetics, a 4-year degree course, and 1 got accepted into Pearson's with a full scholarship. And he's studying a BCom degree in finance. Yeah, so what helped us in terms of the whole application process was, 1, that there's an official GPA score that was given. So obviously when you get to institutions, tertiary institutions, you've got to obviously make sure that you get to the right person working with registrations. The second thing that obviously helped us was obviously we went through the SACWA route and presented the certificates to SACWA, and they obviously gave us the notch that it's an NQF level 4. In terms of USAF, now USAF basically gives certain requirements, and we had a look at them, and obviously the students got accepted into the institutions, obviously. So I think in that sense, just to mention something about applying to universities with a foreign curriculum. One thing you must understand is that every institution will have somebody at registration working, admissions registrations, working with foreign curriculum applications. That's the guy that works with the Cambridge students, the American high school diplomas, etc., etc. So there is somebody, and you just need to make sure that your parents or you yourself get to those people so that they can handle that application. Now, these days, what happens with students applying towards university, it starts with the online process. And one of the choices of your exit exam will state an American high school diploma. So that is where you tick the box. And yeah, that will obviously ensure that they understand what student is applying. Another thing that excited us about this whole curriculum was, 1, we will give our students in our school a Cambridge exit option. 2, we will look at the GED for students that is academically not as strong and will take a lot longer to finish certain performance areas. And then obviously the American high school diploma. So those were the things that obviously we looked at as a school, as a smaller independent school. We had to place ourselves uniquely in the market because, I mean, we are surrounded by curios, we are surrounded by so many independent schools giving certain options, and obviously coming from the ACE platform, we obviously had to place ourselves uniquely in that. And when we presented it to our parents, I mean, Daniel was there with us when we presented it to our parents towards the end of 2018 and in 2019. And at the end of the day, our parents wholeheartedly accepted this, and a lot of it was based on the inconsistency in the CAPS curriculum, the fact that it's a Christian-based curriculum. Those are all the things that our parents got our parents excited. Okay, so we also, what we did was, because we had a first group of students working towards the Cambridge exams, we actually have our first year of AS students. And we, after completing a full year of grade 10 SOE, we had our students in early beginning of this year, we had them write the IG exams. Now that was obviously an internal exam. We just took old exam papers to see how they performed, and I can tell you they performed way above what we expected in terms of coping with the standard of Cambridge. Now, I think for us, the big thing at this stage, the advantage that we've experienced as a school, I mean, throughout COVID, our students could continue working from home, at home, because a lot of the grading is anyway done online by the teacher. The teacher could work safely from home. The students were at home, and we could continue working, and we basically sat with a 70% statistic of 100% performance. We had about 20% of the students that were just a bit lazy to work, and then we had about 10% students that really battled to either connect via internet or something like that. So it's a huge advantage to have a digital, fully interactive online platform. Assessments is done. Our students could get through COVID. They weren't disrupted. So that was obviously something that was awesome for our students and our parents, gave them the assurance, and that obviously helped us to have a stable income towards the school. Obviously, some parents went through some financial issues, but the fact of the matter is it was a good way for us to ensure that our parents pay, because obviously the students could work as if they were working at school. Yeah, then in terms of the whole changing over to the curriculum as a school, and I'll finish with this. Logistic wise, all our students went for a laptop platform, because obviously they can work at school and work at home. As a school, we just had to install obviously a service provider that could handle all the internet requirements. We found that about 300 megs a day on the platform. That's without the levels of research that had to be done. So we currently running probably about 120 licenses on the site. That includes obviously the staff, and we can cope with it here in a rural area quite easily. And then in electricity wise, obviously we just had to install charging points in the learning centers. In terms of time schedules, obviously we're working with 5 one-hour periods a day, and students are completing the curriculum quite easily. Something that might shock some of you, there's no more homework that gets done. Students can just continue working at home from home. So that helped us to really improve teacher-student relationships, parent involvement. So all of these things, it was just really a blessing to us. So yeah, I think, Sean, that's more or less all from my side. And again, thank you for sharing this, for this opportunity to share.
Thanks so much, Hendrik. Good. I'm sure there'll be some questions just now, but thank you for sharing. I'm going to hand over to you, Kobus, as jy nog daar.
Ek is hier, maar die manne praat baie. Okay, our experience is slightly from a different perspective. We started the research a number of years ago, and in 2018 we started our first pilot project on projects-based learning, and to move into innovation, problem solving, 21st century skills. As we journeyed through that, we realized with the integration of subjects into projects, our curriculum or the content was a bit light as we moved away from caps and textbooks and all of those things. So I got to know about SwitchedOn through Hendrik, who we served together on the JLC, and I've known Daniel since the ACE days. So we did our presentations last year, May, and we got our first 3 students as pilot students in June, and then 40 students who was in our projects-based classes last year in beginning of August. We saw the success of it where we could do the blended side. In other words, we had students in grade 7, 8, and 9 running a few hours a day on SwitchedOn, doing their curriculum core work, and then moving into the blended side, which is our project-based side, to help with the creativity, problem solving, innovative thinking, and all of those things. My approach is we put then the beginning of this year our grade 4 to 9 students on the system, which was a very big move for us with a number of students. So we are growing the system in the school over the next 3 years, 10, 11, and 12 to exit at 2023. Being a CAP school and writing the National Senior Certificate for the last 25 years, my issues were the overload of information assessment, the lack of consistency. In other words, you've got 12 concepts in math in a term instead of just working properly through concepts until students actually grasp the concepts. It's a cookie cutter system, and I want like an individualized system. Over assessments, prescribed assessments versus the innovation and the professional ability of teachers to take ownership of the classrooms. The heavy reliance on the ATPs and POAs. I'm sure everybody working with CAPS will know what I'm talking about there. Humanistic philosophy behind the whole system. Our set work readings that the students have to go through, that is totally secular and humanistic. That is just so unbiblical that I couldn't take it anymore. And overemphasis on the exam versus a balance of the weighting. And what I love about SwitchedOn is there's a balance between your percentage of weighting between your lessons, projects, quizzes, and your tests or your exams, which just bring a beautiful balance. The mastering of the concepts, the student have to master a concept at 80% on lessons and 70% at quizzes and tests. And you can determine that as a teacher with the specific students. We have had dyslexic students come out of that and be healed. We have seen students that is excellent in progress, just run and excel with it. We have adapted it to a way that our students work in the primary school 3.5 hours on the system maximum, high school 4 to 4.5 hours, and the rest is all into creative work, projects, sport, arts, culture that we are working on, that we do not get into that overload of screen time. And of course, they do not have homework except for if they haven't met their targets or goals for the day. It means that they have more time for family. Also, other thing that we love about the system is the fact that our teachers can actually now get to the life of the student. With the pressure of the CAPS curriculum, you are just there to tick boxes, fill in a LAHEAP form, fill in this one, fill in that one, and you don't get to the life of the student. And to me, the marking of the 85% of the curriculum via the system just greatly assists the teachers to be in touch with the student. Obviously, our teachers needed to be retrained, and it's an ongoing thing because of the mindset that our teachers are stuck with in the old way and the old education system. So that's an ongoing thing as to retrain our teachers onto what we really want to achieve through the system. You obviously had some challenges with the transition, especially at the beginning of the year. On the other hand, you had the blessing, as Hendrik stated, when COVID came, people quickly had to go online. Now, online for most people is I use WhatsApp, or I send messages through WhatsApp and communicate through WhatsApp, or there's a Google Classroom, or there's a streaming. The beauty of this system, it's none of that. It's a digital interactive platform where everything happens on it. It's not a live streaming. It's not an ebook. it is an interactive system that is being used. And as Daniel said, the beauty is where other curriculums do not allow the innovation of teachers, this one do allow it. So if a teacher is very innovative, it's about adapting the lesson to your current need in your socioeconomic environment, writing it in there, and that is just give you the flexibility. Also with us, we've moved away from classrooms into studios. So in other words, in a classroom or in our studio, some students might be working on SwitchedOn, while a small group can be working on projects, and the teacher can work different with the different guys. So not everybody has to do the same arts and culture or technology thing. Go home, mom and dad do it, and then they bring it back, and then it gets assessed on a final product. And that's not the scientific method of doing any projects-based learning as well. So that's a very quick thing. We have cut down on the wastage of time with children moving between classrooms, opening textbooks. We are very much more effective in our time management, which allows students in a shorter space of time achieve more work on the academic side. In our grade 9 group, we've had children excel to the level that they're already working at their grade 10 level, and they have opened the different electives in the areas that Daniel have explained. So students that is slow, we are helping them to maintain their work pace, and then you have students that is just excelling, and they will possibly be finishing even before grade 12. That is a possibility, and then you get all the other questions about social dynamics. So that's in a nutshell quickly from my side, Sean.
Thank you so much, Kobus. All right, I'm going to go to everybody to be able to ask some questions. If you look at your screen at the bottom, there's some reactions, and just clap your hands or something, and then I will give you a chance to ask some questions. While you're thinking of that, I mean, the biggest question must be, and it's for either three of you, is what is the cost implication for a school? Daniel, can I ask you to answer that?
Yeah, sure. At the moment, our grades 3 to 8 bands, that are students in the band from grades 3 to 8, we sell a license for each student, which runs for a whole year. That sells at $450 per year per student. $450 per year per student. Our grades 9 and 10 sells at $550 per year per student. And our grades 11 and 12 sells at $650 per year per student. All the teachers get a free license. They can log into the system, look at the courses, look at the all the materials. Everything is online that they can see. So that's it. There is schools have a once-off registration fee of $125. That's it. Training is free. Everything else that we do, that we can provide, we provide based on the license fees.
Thank you. Can I just ask maybe Kobus and Hendrik, have you coped with the costs? Just quick comments on that.
Daniel, Sean, from our side, what we have done, we have looked at, first of all, where we could cut costs. In other words, we don't have to buy textbooks, stationery, some of the stuff that you would usually have in your budget. We cut that back, and then we increase some of the fees on which is a specific license fee. So we keep our school fees and our SwitchedOn license fee separate, so that the parents can see exactly where they go. That's, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Hendrik, do you want to make a comment on the costs?
Yeah, well, I think Kobus obviously comes from a CAPS perspective. We obviously came from a ACE perspective, and obviously in terms of what Kobus said about us, we were purchasing paces every month, and then obviously there was quite a severe amount of copying that needs to take place. And if we took all of those costings and we looked at the licensing fees that Daniel spoke about, certain other elements, I think we came at about maybe 10% above what we would be working with normally. So it's about a 10% increase that we overall experienced. But some of it, again, wasn't directly related to SOE. It was just obviously the internet costs, and then obviously certain electricity portfolios and areas that we had to manage differently. But yeah, Sean, just something that I think Daniel asked me just to mention in terms of the curriculum development side of things. Obviously, in regards to next year, there's obviously AS curriculum that's being developed on the SwitchedOn platform for Cambridge, other subjects as well, and then obviously Afrikaans as well. So that's a process that's taking place, and again, that is just that's just the awesome flexibility of this program, the fact that you can actually develop curriculum. Obviously, it's Christian based, and I think that's what's nice. And yeah, so we're excited about that project.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. You've got a comment.
The grade 11 and 12 fee includes the American high school diploma, so there's no extra charge for that. And any course that we create, Cambridge or Afrikaans or primary school, any course we create and put on the platform will be absolutely free of charge. There's no extra cost for that either. We started in 2018 in South Africa, and the gentleman will tell you we haven't had an increase as well. So we're pretty confident that our pricing is in line. And obviously, when we have schools that have huge numbers, we can have a discussion with schools like that and work out a better deal for those schools. So we're also flexible in that area.
Okay, thanks, Daniel. Remember to everyone, just raise the icon if you want to ask a question. I just want to just check. So if I was a student and I wrote the American diploma and I had to add Afrikaans to that, I would be able to then qualify to go to a South African university. Is that correct understanding?
Yeah, I can answer that for you. If you look at this, Yusuf wants a South African student to still fulfill what a CAP student needs to do. So that means mathematics needs to be completed, a home language, a second or a first additional language. So if you add all of that, 6 subjects is what is recommended for a student applying towards studies at a tertiary institution, that's University of Technology and a university.
Okay, thank you. I think that hopefully clarifies that. Graham, you've got a comment?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining this session with us. I'm based here in the UK. So when myself and Cheryl started the organization a number of years ago, we were really looking for something that was contemporary, flexible. We really felt that education needed a shift and be disrupted. Every area in our lives have been disrupted except education. So we were fortunate that when we planted our school here in the UK, we were able to start the school in any format we wanted. I think the real beauty of the program, it's fully customizable. I mean, we've taken the GCSE curriculum and customized it to meet the needs of the United Kingdom. In fact, the way we use it at our school, we sort of start with this thought in mind, that every student is created by God with a very specific purpose and function. So we always say we take the national curriculum and we put it aside. We take the student as an individual and we customize the curriculum to match the student. So every single student that we have in the school has a totally customized curriculum plan based on their gifting, their career path, their ability. I've got students that are 16 years old working at grade 4 level here in South Africa and in America. Again, it's everything customized about where their ability is, what they're going to do afterwards, and their career path they're going to choose. So the beauty of the program, I think the real strength is for you as educators, you can be as creative, as innovative as you want, because the platform allows you to create lessons, customized courses. We could create any course that we need to based on the platform. So I just want to add that in. I think that's the real key to the program, is the ability to customize the course according to the needs of your children. And maybe one other thing that we've had incredible success is students that have special education needs. In fact, we've had so much success with students because we're able to customize the curriculum to every single child's need. Our local government has stepped in and actually pay us tens of thousands of pounds to work with special education needs children on top of our private school children. So, the success of the program is actually being rolled out here in the UK far broadly within certain sectors of the education sectors here. So again, I really want to emphasize the customization and the ability for you as educators to customize the curriculum for the needs of your children. Thank you, Graham. Thank you, Sean. I don't know if we've lost Sean there. Daniel, you're the host.
I'll take over from here. Sean, being one of the ACSI guard. Anyone else there wanting to ask a question? Guys, I can't. Fani, yes, Buddha. Lekker om jou te sien. Maak oop daar en praat jy.
Hallo, kan julle my hoor? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Ons hoor jou.
Okay, I have a few questions, Daniel. I'm more focused on the primary school area. So my questions are, how many primary schools in South Africa already are on board? Number two, Bible. I see Bible runs from grade 9 up to 12. Is there any specific reason why not yet for primary schools? And then also the third one, I see that you are working on Afrikaans. Now the area I'm in here in the Eastern Cape and talking about Western Cape, there's a lot of Afrikaans medium schools. So when do you foresee that it will be available in Afrikaans? So that's my three questions. Thanks, Daniel.
All right, excellent. Let me take the easy one. The Bible actually starts from grade 3. So we've got Bible grade 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, a full curriculum. So I could have went through too quickly through that, but right from the bottom. Primary schools, we have a total of 26 schools that are using the program, and all of the schools have primary levels as well. So they start from, their schools have grade R, grade 1, grade 2, but they start our program from grades 3 upwards. So all of the 26 schools are primary. Afrikaans, we've got grade 4 almost ready. It's going to be on the platform in January 2021. That's next year, grade 4 Afrikaans. Hendrik, maybe you can come in on the other Afrikaans development from grade 5 upwards.
Yeah, I think Fani, just to answer one of your questions, Daniel, just to come in there, is he asked if the system will ever be available in Afrikaans, and obviously, yeah, that's something that I might just share my own opinion. I think tertiary education is moving to an English platform, and I think it's not really going to be cost effective to set it up in Afrikaans, honestly. The second thing is Afrikaans development, obviously from grade 3 right up to grade 12. Obviously the grade 9 and above is all Cambridge IG and AS Afrikaans that we are developing, and then the rest of it is basically kind of a CAPS/Cambridge mix that we are developing for Afrikaans as a FAL language. Coming from a university perspective, just to give it to you, all universities slowly but surely is moving to that platform, and even the lecturers. I mean, we're sitting here at PIC in Potch, and I mean, it's probably one of the last institutions that will be swinging across, but even they are slowly but surely moving across to the English platform. And what is awesome to know is that my son that came off SOE, everything is now done online with the lecturers, and for him it was such an automatic transition that and I mean, he did brilliant in terms of the platform, because again he was used to working online, and yeah, that's from that side. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Go for it, Daniel. Do you want to comment on that? Your screen?
No, I think I've done that. Basically, there's the Bible grades 3 right up to grade 12.
Okay. All right, guys, more questions. Any from anyone else? Just show us your hand and then we can do some more questions so that you can understand as you consider this. Leonard, go for it.
Mine is we're planning to introduce leadership training in grade 10 to 12 next year. I didn't see leadership in any of the subject packages. I'm not sure if I missed it. Is it there maybe under one of the courses, or is it part of any of the courses in the pipeline? That's my question. Thank you.
Thanks, Leonard.
There is some material in the Christian Foundations course, basic Christian Foundations course on leadership, but I think you raised something that's excellent. Perhaps we should put that on our curriculum development slate so that we can start developing some leadership courses. I am in the process of speaking to the group of people with Leonard. It's a gentleman who's developed a alternative to the CSE, Errol Naidu, alternative to the CSE curriculum. I'm in the process of speaking to him. There's lots of leadership stuff there. Once we get that and get permission, then we'll put that onto our platform as well. But thanks for that, Leonard. Great suggestion.
Yeah, Daniel, just on the essentials of business, there's also some good things that's related to leadership, but that's obviously again more focused on business side of things. And then I think in that one Bible course, I think it's Christian Living, that one, I think there's also again some good stuff in relation to young people stepping up. So I think there are some things.
Good, thank you for that. I've got another question maybe to ask Kobus and Hendrik. What is the role of the teacher now? Does it affect the kind of teachers you're going to employ into the future if so much of the stuff is done online? So your thoughts and comments on that?
Sean, I think one of the things is to get your teachers to understand a different model of teaching, to move away from the chalk and talk, I'm in front, the sage on the stage from the guy to the side type of scenario. The teacher is actively involved every day with the student. In other words, monitoring the work, the goal setting, unblocking, helping with lessons, and then it's more individualized with working. We have what we call subject specialists, where our math, science, English teachers will come to different studios and they assist classes more in small groups with normal teaching. So you're actually creating a menu of different styles of teaching within a classroom instead of just the one size fit all. I'm standing in front, giving it, you record it. Every student must have a script with him. In other words, taking off notes, writing. It's not just I'm typing. So you are working on research development. You are working on the ability to take notes, mind mapping while the student is working, because they'll use that with a quiz or projects as it goes on. And those scripts still get marked by the teachers. So the teachers are critically involved, and it obviously have to be a qualified teacher. And as you move into your higher grades, your specialized teachers work hand in hand with your base teachers or your teachers in the studios or learning centers. And just in smaller groups, your modus operandi change a little bit, actually quite a lot, but the teachers are very involved in the lives of the children. And actually, once again, you get opportunity for one-on-one engagement, and that leads to discipleship.
Yeah, I think Kobus put it excellently in terms of that. I think in the lower grades, what we've seen is that because of the more individual attention that students is receiving, it means that they're receiving a stronger foundation. Plus, on the positive side, learning difficulties, learning disabilities, learning things get picked up way earlier in terms of that individualized contact that's taking place. In other words, you're not going to wait for the second term to realize a student has certain issues. It gets picked up way quicker because of that closeness. And I think from a personal perspective, this for me brings back the idea of education, where it's engaging with a student. It's helping them to understand certain concepts, but with it, it's that mentoring that's starting to take place. And I think at the end of the day is way less stress on the teacher regarding just hunting curriculum to get done. I think our teachers are way more focused and relaxed, and there's the pressure points is not there that you would find in normal classroom teaching.
Thank you so much. I'm still waiting for any more questions if you would like to raise your hand. The one other question I've got after just before you come in, Graham, I've had many schools ask for a Bible curriculum, a standalone Bible curriculum. Would it be possible for them just to pay for that and not necessarily have access to anything else? Is that something possible, Daniel?
Yeah, that's a Graham question. So I'm glad he put his hand up there. So Graham can pick up that.
Absolutely. I think, again, everything is customizable, you know, purchased individually. We've never really had the demand for individual courses. I think the pricing becomes reasonable that most schools are using it, you know, pretty much moving to a full curriculum. But everything is possible and you know, and usable as well. I put my hand up. One of the things that I think is amazing, you know, we rigorously inspected here in the UK every 3 years by Ofsted. And I think one of the most amazing tools that's built into the curriculum, and Daniel maybe didn't allude to, if he did, I apologize, but there's a feature built into the beginning. So if you have students coming from a government school or students that are maybe struggling academically, there's a feature built into every sort of unit. So if you've got 10 units, so let's say maths is made up of 10 units in a year, 10 units of work. So if they go unit 1 and I've got a student that we don't know what ability they have, etc., the first thing we do is we have a diagnostic assessment. The diagnostic assessment looks at the ability of the children, what work they've already know from a government school. Let's assume they came from a government school, what work they know, what they don't know. What the program then does, it then customizes the work exactly according to their needs. So my wife is the education head here. She can then look at that word and actually customize a catch-up program just for that student individually based upon the work she doesn't know. Then if we need to accelerate the student, Americans have a wonderful term, they call it, what do they call it? They call it, do you remember the term, Daniel, that they use to catch up? Credit recovery is the word. Credit recovery they use. We have a feature built in. So at the beginning of every one of those 10 units, there's a little pre-assessment. So the student does the pre-assessment. What it does, it then looks at prior knowledge. So let's say it was algebra. It would look at prior knowledge and work out that the student knows 60% of that work already, wherever they learnt it. It then skips all that work and only opens 40% of the work. That is an incredible feature for individualizing customized students. We just have students that are 3 years behind. In 2 years, we can catch up 3 years worth of work. In 1 year, we can catch 2 years worth of work. Ofsted was shocked when they first came to us because they said it's the only school they've ever visited in the UK that the inspector was able to see every single student's ability track from the day they came in the school, they did the assessment, to where they were academically now. We've had a young girl that's just come in recently from a government school, failing bottom sets, actually very bright academically, put a customized course for her. She's actually already on the high school diploma, and we're using the CRX feature to accelerate her learning. There's incredible features built into the program. And I think the exciting thing is you are released as teachers to be creative, to customize, to create courses, lesson plan if you want to do, build it into the program. And again, that is something I'd really encourage schools to look at, is the course customization that Daniel runs your side. But just a little bit more information that would help.
Thank you so much, Graham. I'm going to sort of bring it to a close if there are no further questions or comments. Philip, you've had a question?
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Thank you, guys. This is great. Just a question: if we as a school provide the infrastructure for the children to work from, would they require internet connectivity and a computer or tablet or something at home? Or is there something that if they only have access to it at school, would it still be doable? Thanks.
Daniel, I will answer.
The entire program. All right, go ahead.
So just practically, from our side, we made it the choice that every student must own their own laptop. A laptop is a bit more practical to work on rather than a tablet or a cell phone. And at the school, you make sure that you have enough bandwidth to deal with it. Your challenge is that because you're working with youngsters is to make sure that your spyware and your blocking and all of that is good enough. We have worked out if a student works full-time, 6 hours a day on the system for the 30 days, you will need 1 gig of data per student for 30 days. That is how light it is on data usage. So that you install whatever you need to handle that type. We use 120 meg line, and that is more than sufficient to run 300 computers at our school. To do it at home, that is what you need. If they have a data bundle or they have access via Vodacom, they need 1 gig. And that's where you have to educate your parents, because children will use it to download movies or watch Netflix or whatever. But if it's purely switched on that they work on, 1 gig of data over 30 days and you don't use it for 30 days is enough. Once again, if a student works effectively, he's 3 hours to 4 hours of meeting his targets at school. He doesn't need to work at home. It's really for those times that do want to excel, do want to catch up, that they need that extra bit of bandwidth at home. It is a cloud-based system. In other words, you can use any computer anywhere in the world via your login. You don't have to download any software or anything like that. So all our primary school students lock their machines at the school. They do not travel with it back home. The high school do. So they can use a parent's or a machine at home or device at home if they want to continue.
Thanks, Kobus. Any other comments from Daniel or Hendrik? Otherwise, any more questions from anyone? Fani, another question from you?
Sorry, Sean, just maybe, Daniel, you mentioned about our local African languages. How do you foresee that in the future when those things will be ready also at primary school level?
At the moment, we are focusing strongly on Afrikaans. That's our starting off point, because developing a language is it's another ball game altogether. And very soon, probably January, February next year, we'll speak to the curriculum developers. There is somebody who's looking at Zulu at the moment. I would say if the earliest we can get something going would probably be about July next year for Zulu, and then we look at the other languages as well. But very low level, first additional language side, and we'll probably start at grade 4, 5, 6, thereabouts.
Okay, what I'm going to ask, you can still ask some questions. I'm going to stay online for a little while. But Daniel, can you share your details, the last slide on the screen? So if people would like to get hold of you directly. I see Honoree's with us. I'm going to ask Honoree to put the slide, the presentation on the resource page on the website. And in fact, I will send it to each of you because I've got a record of you who attended this afternoon. We'll send that to each of you tomorrow, and then you can get hold of Daniel directly and take it from there. And then myself or Honoree at the office, if you've got any questions and you want to refer to them. I'm quite sure that both Kobus and Hendrik will be quite happy for you to phone them and ask questions. But perhaps I think the best route to go for most of you is to get hold of Daniel and let him come and do a presentation for you. And obviously you're going to have to sell this to your schools, to your board, and I'm sure they'd be happy, more than happy to do those presentations for you. So there you can see the slide. Daniel, do you want to make a comment before we go?
Yeah, just last 2 comments. Firstly, please go onto the website and look at the demo lesson. It's a 7-minute clip, but it'll give you a very good understanding, because when I first saw the program, all of this theory is good, but I wanted to see how exactly it works. So look at that. And lastly, thank you so much, Sean and Kobus and Hendrik, for having us. We appreciate you guys. We are here. We're available to do presentations. We're available to come to your school. We can now travel. So thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much. So those of you who need to go, if you'd like to stay and hang around and ask some questions, if you can just stop sharing, Daniel, then I can make everyone visible again. Bless you all. Keep doing the great job that you're doing. And I look forward to seeing some of you and have a cup of coffee with you along our journeys. And that'll hopefully be before the end of the year. But thank you again to Daniel, to your team, to Graham, and to, who else did we have here? The other visitors, to Kobus and and to Hendrik. Bless you guys. But you don't have to go. We'll hang around, and if there are any particular questions that you were too scared to ask when everyone's here, you're welcome to ask them now. Anna-Marie, do you want to make a comment or ask a question?
Yes, my question just is this, if I understand correctly, is that for every learner enrollment, the teacher gets a free license, but you actually want the whole school to enroll. But then the other question was, do you pay this annual license up front, or do you have payment plans for schools regarding that?
Good questions. Every learner gets a license that you pay for, and whether you put on 1 learner or 300, your teachers will still get a license. So you get a free license anyway. Our payment plan is generally quarterly in advance. Generally, that's the plan. But we also request that if schools are really having a challenge, then we can do monthly in advance. But it's not it's an annual fee broken up into 4 quarters in advance or monthly.
Okay, just wave at me if you've got any questions, more questions. Okay, if you don't have questions, then you must go. You know, go and have some coffee or go and do some work or something. You know, you guys are just looking at me on the screen. There we go. Cheers, Fani. Wave at us. Bye, everybody. Daniel, thank you so much. Graham, everybody. Quibus, appreciate you. Hendrik, appreciate you. I actually do like your shirt. Grace, have you got a question? Cheers, Brian. Grace, have you got a question? Or are you just saying thank you? Just unmute yourself. Grace in favor. I don't know if that's Bongi.
No,
Do you have a question there for us?
Mike,
Mike, you just waving, or do you have a question?
Well, that's not a question, it's just a comment. I have granddaughters on the SwitchedOn program now.
Okay.
And people were worried about homework and saying that they don't have to do homework. In high school, you can't stop them working. They are so excited about the SwitchedOn program and the subjects that they're doing. They work at home quite naturally with no issue, you know, with regard to homework and things like that.
And the reality, as you're saying, it's not homework. They just keep going. They're just continuing with their program, and it's not schoolwork and homework that are different. It's all one thing, I'm guessing.
Right.
Okay. Any last comments? All right. God bless you all, everybody. Nice to see you all. Nice to meet you, Graham. Nice to see you, Daniel. I'm sure we'll be in contact soon. Bye, Sonia. Nice to see you. Bye, Apostle Kathy. Nice to see you. God bless you, everyone. Nice to see you, Anna-Marie. Just nice to see that you're at the office and doing some work. Bless you. We'll chat soon.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, Hendrik. Bye, Donkey. Cheers, Quibus. Bye, Donkey.